don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hey team, I hope you're all doing well. Today's topic, I wanted to go over a question that was recently asked by Jonas Martinez. He asked, I'm a freshman in college. This is my first year running on a team and being coached. My PR right now is 28:20 in the 8K. Any tips to break 28 minutes? Great question, Jonas, and congratulations on already running 28:20. That is not an easy time to achieve in college. You really have to be in great physical and mental shape. You got to have that mental toughness because cross country, it definitely is it's a sport where you're jumping over logs, you're running over hills, you're running over uneven terrain, and breaking that particular barrier, the 28-minute barrier. You have to run 27:59. You have to hold 5:38 mile pace or 3:30 kilometer pace. So really, my advice to you is be patient with yourself. You're going to be with your team. Utilize the athletes on your team that are faster than you or equal to your capability. And think of, in cross country in college, you're going to have races every weekend. So you just be very patient with yourself in terms of gradually increasing the intensity of your workouts. Don't expect to break sub 28 minutes your first meet of the year, your sophomore year. Maybe you will. It just really depends on what you're doing in the summer months leading into your cross country season. Okay, and I personally do understand this. I mean, I ran 24:32 for 8K when I was in college, and do know that breaking 28 minutes, you have to be in very solid shape. So focusing on one VO2 max workout per week where you're running significantly faster than goal race pace. So in your case, you want to hold 5:38 mile pace for basically 5 miles, just short, 4.96 miles. Rounded up, it's 5 miles. It's an 8K race. But to hold 5:38 mile pace, you have to improve your body's lactate tolerance. So you have to spend some time running down, closer down toward around 5:10 mile pace. Okay, so that you can, again, for an athlete trying to break 28 minutes for 8K, threshold pace is around 5:54 mile pace. Okay, when you're running at intervals on the track, say you're doing repeat 800s, repeat thousands on the track, get those. You want to work to a point where you can get those intervals down to around 5:20 mile pace. Okay, so again, you're spending some time each week running well below goal race pace, so that again, you can build that stamina that you're going to need to be able to not only withstand the paces, but also withstand the terrain you're dealing with, okay? Long runs are absolutely essential, vital to run a sub 28 minute 8K, okay, or 5 miles, close to 5 miles. You have to get to, work to a point where you can get that long run built out to around 12 to 13 miles, okay? For an athlete that's in college, you want to think about, man, what is 5 miles going to feel like when I've done 13 to 14 milers for my long runs? Okay, you're building that endurance, you're building that overall aerobic fitness that's going to help you be able to sustain that sub 28 minute 8K race pace. Okay, some of the workouts I would consider doing is each week doing one speed session per week. That might mean starting off the year doing your 800 meters repetitions, say like 6 to 7 800 meter reps at threshold effort. So for an athlete trying to break 28 minutes for 8K and breaking that sub 28 minute 5 or 8K barrier, that would mean running around 256 per 800. Okay, if you're doing repeat 1200s on the track, maybe doing 4 to 5 1200s on the track. Threshold effort would be running around 424 per rep. Okay, earlier in the season, you want to give yourself more recovery. So if you're doing repeat 800s or repeat 1200s, that might mean giving yourself about 3 minutes of recovery between each one of those repetitions. And then as the season progresses and you get more anaerobically fit, you want to increase the intensity of your intervals. So going from 424 for if you're doing repeat 1200s, that means you starting off the year around 424 per rep, working your way down to about 403 per rep. With the 800s, you're starting off with around 256 at threshold effort, and then working your way down to around 242 per rep, okay? With less recovery, maybe like 2 minutes of recovery in between each one of those reps. There is a point where you have to focus on quality over quantity and finishing the workout, okay? If you're feeling like, if you're first starting off and you're just getting started with your track workouts in the earlier season, and you feel like 3 minutes isn't enough recovery, then start off at 4 minutes and then gradually work your way down as you get more anaerobically fit. It's the same, and in terms of for an athlete trying to break 28 minutes for AK, the shorter reps, again, you're improving your body's lactate tolerance and improving your body's ability to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up when you're running at paces that are significantly faster than goal race pace. So if you're doing, for an athlete trying to break the sub 28 minute 8K barrier, I would recommend, working, if you're doing like repeat 400s, doing 8 to 12 400 meters on the track, starting off at 121 per rep with maybe 2 minutes of recovery, and then working your way down as you get fitter and going through your season, getting those repetitions down to around like 114 to 115 per rep, but with only 60 to 90 seconds of recovery. So as you get fitter, naturally your body's your heart's not going to have to work as hard. You're going to be able to recover faster. You're going to be able to run at faster paces, but you also want to work on lessening the amount of recovery you have in between each one of those repetitions. Now, that doesn't mean you sacrifice the workout because you're giving yourself such a small amount of recovery, okay? You want to finish the workout. So if you feel like 60 seconds if you look down at your watch and your heart rate is still above 120, it's a good idea to still give yourself a little bit more time to recover. So you want to wait until your heart rate, if you're wearing a heart rate monitor, you're wearing a Garmin, and it's tracking your heart rate, wait until your heart rate gets back down under 120 before you start your next repetition. So focus more so on that, so that you're fully recovered anaerobically, you're fully recovered physiologically before you start your next repetition. The good thing that you have on your side is you're only a freshman in college, so you're going to progress. I've seen guys go from 28s and down into the low 25s for 8K by the time they graduated. Okay, you may be well under 25 minutes by the time you graduate. It's really just about being consistent with your training and not letting up, being relentless with your preparation, staying, still enjoying the sport, knowing that this is just running. There's other things in life that are far more important than running. If you can find that enjoyment for what you're doing, and you can continue to stay focused on your training, you're going to continue to get faster, Jonas. Okay, so as I mentioned before, utilize your teammates, work together. Iron sharpens iron. You're only if you're surrounding yourself with athletes that are better than you or at your level, or even not as fast as you, but they have that drive and that determination to get to the next level, you're surrounding yourself with winners. You're surrounding yourself with the types of environment that you need to get faster over the 8K distance. And it's not easy. Cross country isn't easy when you got to do a mixture of higher. Again, the world's top middle to long distance runners are running around 30 to 40% of their weekly volume at their anaerobic threshold or faster. Okay, now you're still very young. You're only a freshman in college, so that's looking at the very best runners in the world. Doesn't mean you have to run that much of your volume at such a high percentage of your volume at a very high intensity. The most important thing is that you adapt. Give yourself about 48 hours of recovery in between each one of your hard workouts. That's very important. Make sure you're focusing when you're racing too, to run the least amount of distance as possible so that you break the 28 minute 8K barrier. Okay, so run the tangents. Okay, a lot of runners, I see so many runners that are running these courses that are right-hand turns coming up, and they're on the far left-hand side of the course. You need to be on the far right-hand side of the course if a right-hand turn's coming up. Same with the left side, okay? so you're running less distance than your competitors. Okay, do your best to run the second half of your 8K faster than you run the first half. So if you can get through that first, say, around 3.5 to 4K, a little bit more conservative, and then really focus on hammering that second half, you're going to have a better shot at breaking that 28-minute 8K barrier. Okay, because again, you don't want to go out so fast with everybody else that you redline and you go into auction debt, and then you slow down in the second half. Okay, it's also breaking the 28-minute barrier too, Jonas. You focus on the courses throughout your season, especially focus on the main last 3 races of your season, but find that course that is the flattest, fastest course that you possibly can. And what I mean by that, no course is really fast. It's really about how determined, how well prepared is the athlete going into that race. How well prepared are you to run that time? A course can be super flat, but you still aren't going to run fast on it if you're not aerobically and mentally prepared to run fast. So I know I'm preaching to the choir with that, but focus on the end season race, or like a mid-season race where that particular course is flat. The competition is going to be there, and that is going to set you up for success to have the best possible chance of breaking the sub 28-minute 8K barrier. So I hope this video is helpful for you, Jonas, just to be thinking about some of the things that maybe your competitors aren't thinking about. You're going to continue to have a phenomenal sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. You're going to be surrounded by your teammates. You're going to be having those weekly races that again, it's going to help propel you forward, and you're going to get even more anaerobically fit, more aerobically fit, more mentally prepared to break that sub 28-minute barrier. I think by the time you graduate, definitely reach back out to me here in a few years and let me know where you finished up at. But I guarantee you, I think more than likely, based on where you're currently at, 28-20, as a freshman, the sky's the limit. There's no limits, really. Really, just the limits are the limits you place on yourself, and that goes for me and anybody else. I mean, really, the only real limits in this life is the limits we place on ourselves. So just focus on staying consistent and enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the experience. College goes by like that. It goes by so fast. And but yeah, I hope this is helpful for you, Jonas. If you or anybody else is looking to take your racing and training to the next level, check out the resources on RunDreamAchieve.com or below any of my videos. Feel free to leave me a comment. I'll definitely respond back to you. And thank you so much for your support, and I wish you all the very best in your training and racing.